Today we are talking about budgeting to get yourself out of debt. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we put up new videos. Hello, I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook where you can eat better, spend less. We have a new hardcover with full color pictures and over 1,200 recipes and tips to help you save money on your grocery bill. Check it out at livingonadime.com. Hello guys, we are in our Getting Out of Debt series, and today we are talking about that dreaded word, budgeting.
Ooh, budgeting.
Okay, here's the thing.
Why is it so stressful for people?
I don't know. People make way too much out of it because they don't want to be told what to do.
Well, and the thing about budgeting is, the good news about budgeting is, other people aren't telling you.
You're telling you.
If you want to get somewhere, you have to make a plan on how you're going to get there. You can't just say, I'm going to this other state and I don't know where it is, so I'm just going to start driving until I get there.
And people have no problem making plans to go on vacation.
Yeah.
So if you can make plans to go on vacation, you can make plans to get out of debt.
And one of the cool things about a budget, and I think one of the reasons why people struggle with it is they don't realize this, is you make the budget.
Yep.
You make the budget based on what you think you're going to spend. And if you're finding out as you go along that it's not quite working out that way, you can adjust the budget as you go. So the budget isn't your master and you're not its slave. The budget is a tool, a plan that you're using to make your life better. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this. So how did Mike and I budget? Well, okay, we didn't.
We sort of did.
So I'm going to tell you how we got out of debt without budgeting first, and then we're going to tell you how to budget. Now, how did we get out of debt without budgeting? What we did was we just paid all of our bills first. So we paid our house rent or mortgage. We paid our utilities, electric, gas, water. We paid car gas, food. We paid those first.
And a normal amount of food for the house, like not eating out. Not fast food. And one of the reasons why we were able to accomplish without a budget, and you might need one where we didn't have one at that time, is Tara was really good at the not spending on things we didn't need.
I didn't buy it. If I wanted a new purse, I didn't go buy a new purse. If I wanted to go to McDonald's because it would have been easy instead of fixing dinner, I didn't do it.
Well, and I wasn't good at that. So what we kind of did between us is we agreed that since Tara knows intuitively how to not spend and which things are really important, and I just had a big problem with that, we agreed I wouldn't spend anything on anything. And she would spend it, and if I needed something, I would say, hey, can you get me this when you're at the store?
How did we get there? So we paid our bills. Mm-hmm. Then whatever money was left over at the end of the month, Mike would just put it all on our credit cards or medical bills or whatever it was that we were paying off at that time, okay? So how we paid off the $20,000 was we just paid all our bills. Then any extra money at the end of the month, we just put all of that on our debt. Any tax returns we got, anything that we sold extra, all of that just went on our debt, okay? That's how we did it. Now,
and we're going to explain more in detail when we get to the debt section, how you need to do that, how to pay on the debt part and which debts to pay on first and all that.
Yeah. But just getting it set up, this is how we did it. So we did it what I call the easy way. We paid our bills first, and then all that extra money went on our debt. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to do that, and that's fine. So,
and a budget is great when you really don't have the greatest control over yourself and your spending.
Yes, but there's a problem with budgeting, and I'll tell you my problem that I have with budgeting. All right, so first of all, to set up a budget, don't make it complicated. Guys, this is not rocket science, all right? It's super easy. All you do is just get a piece of paper and a pen and write down mortgage, rent, whichever it is, $1,000 a month, utilities, water, electric, gas. Fill in how much it is. Car payment, fill how much it is. Credit card payment, fill how much it is. Just go down the list and write it all down, okay?
Well, and you need an income section that shows all of the sources of income you have. And then kind of an expense section that has all of those things.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to compare it later because if what you decide to spend doesn't line up with your income.
Well, yeah, I was kind of getting there. Okay. So you need to get all your expenses lined up and on the paper. Now, I would not include anything like eating out, football tickets, those kinds of recreational things. I would not include those with your initial budget, okay? Why? Those are optional items. Now, if that's something you just have to have, go ahead and put it in your budget and add it up. But you need to know how much your expenses are every single month first, okay? Then you need to add up all of your incomes. Are you two-income house? Do one of you have 2 or 3 jobs? Add up all your income in the next one. Then check and see, is my income more than I'm spending every month? If you're spending more than your income, you've got to start cutting somewhere, okay? We're going to go into a little bit more depth on that. But here is the problem, though, that I see with budgeting and having a set budget. The problem is you can tell yourself, I'm going to spend $800 a month on groceries. And then you say every month, I have $800 a month to spend on groceries. Or I have $700 a month we're going to spend on 2 car payments. We're spending $700 a month on 2 car payments. The thing is, those things are optional. And when you put them in a budget, people see them as set in stone and they're not. And you run into the problem then, you don't look for ways to cut your spending in your budget. So that $800 a month grocery bill for a family of 4,
It's ridiculously high.
That's ridiculously high. We have a family of 6 and we spend $400 a month. Okay? You do
in
not.
Colorado, where it's not cheap.
Yeah. And we live in one of the most expensive grocery states in the United States. You know, Alaska and California are maybe above us. But you do not have to necessarily spend that. That's $700 a month for 2 car payments. You don't have to have a car payment at all. You could sell your cars and get something for $2,000 or $3,000 just to get you around so that there's no car payments at all. So this is where I have a problem with people setting a budget, is they set these numbers and they think that something like $800 for a grocery bill or $300 for an electric bill, those are actually optional things in your budget. You do not have to have a $300 a month electric bill, even in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. A lot of people will do things like set their heat on 80 degrees in the winter and then set their air conditioning at 65 degrees in the summer, and they have a $300-$400 electric bill in the summer. That is optional.
And we're telling you this not because you can't choose to spend that money, but if you're trying to get out of debt or trying to get ahead on your bills, there are times where you have to say, okay, how can I do this where you can have the luxury and you can pay for it and stay in debt?
Yeah.
Or you can choose, this isn't as important to me as getting out of debt.
Yeah. All right. So the next step.
Sorry. There's one other thing I was going to say on the budget. Once you get a budget, you can adjust it as you go. But your budget may initially start out where your spending is about equal to your income. But you really need to figure out as you go how to get the spending to be a lot less than your income.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in other videos. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So the next step is set up a budget by writing down all of your expenses and writing down all of your income and seeing if those two are jiving together or not. If your spending is more than your income, you've got a major problem that you need to fix here, which we're going to talk about in other videos. If your income is above your spending, then first of all, make sure that your numbers are right. And if they are, then you're set to really start hammering out that debt and getting it going. But for right now, just get written down all of your expenses and written down all of your income so that you can see where you're at. All right?
And one thing on the income, when she says make sure it's right, you want to write down how much income you actually have that you take home, not what you think you make at your job.
Yes, make sure it's your take-home pay, not the net at your job.
Because if you don't calculate in the fact that they take out taxes and things, your budget's going to be upside down right away.
Yeah, or if you're self-employed and you make $300,000 a year, well, are you actually making $300,000 a year, or are you actually making $150,000 a year after you take out all your expenses? Okay, which if you're in business, you should know that, but you would be surprised. So anyway, now guys, at livingonadime.com, we have a free budget worksheet for you just to sit down on a piece of paper and pen and write it out. Livingonadime.com, I will put the link in the description below. Please visit us at livingonadime.com for a lot. We have tons of free tips and recipes on how to save money and get out of debt. We will see you guys next time.